We've had a lot of cold, misty mornings recently. Being winter, we've had a lot of below zero temperatures. And the dead trees, with their bare branches, look strangely at home against the bleak sky. The grass has turned all yellow and brown from all the frost and it's gone dormant now. We're hoping for rain so that we can fill our big water tank that we had delivered not long ago. The kangaroos have been getting to my strawberry gum. We brought our 2 avocado trees and they didn't fare the trip very well. Their leaves were all whipped and dried from the trip, and also because of the frost they haven't been looking too well. This avocado tree is one that's really important to me because it was given to me by one of my lifelong friends that died not long ago. His name was Brad, and I wanted to make sure this tree survives. So we're replanting it because it's root bound and it's obviously not getting what it needs being in this pot. But we had a lot of trouble getting it out of the pot. And after 2.5 years of waiting and watching, COVID finally caught up with us. My son and I have it at the moment. So all things in life have slowed down a little bit. We tried to loosen it a few times to try to get it out of the pot, but that didn't seem to help very much. So even though this area is known for stone fruits growing well, the avocado actually prefers warm, temperate, subtropical or tropical regions. But I know that it does tolerate cold to around -5 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure how they're going to go. And they also need to be protected from strong winds, so I'm not sure if this is the best place for them. The only thing really going for them here is that they will get full sun all the time. The complicated thing about avocado trees is that there's an A type and a B type, and although avocado is actually self-pollinating, which means that its flowers open at different times of the day and it switches sex each time they do. But it does make pollination patchy. Even though it's more of an issue in warmer zones, the best way to make sure that you get the most avocados is to plant both A and B type trees, as they have opposing opening cycles. And I'm not sure whether we've got A type or B type with any of these trees. Avocados also have extremely sensitive roots, and any disturbance can kill a young tree. So I'm not sure whether this tree is going to survive. And finally we get it out. They need regular and reliable watering. You should also stake your avocado trees as well. And the second avocado tree luckily came out of its pot straight away. Young trees should be protected from extreme sun, frosts and strong winds. So you can actually cover them with a shade cloth to protect them overnight, especially from the frost. And the shade cloth could be used to protect them from the extreme sun during the summer as well. I'm losing hope with a lot of things dying in the garden due to the frost this winter. So do you think that our avocado trees will survive? Let us know in the comments below. And being winter, it's probably not the best time to take these avocado trees out of their pots and put them into the ground, but I'm just hoping for the best. And after we put them in, this little bird that was watching from nearby decided to try the tree out once we'd moved away. And our native trees that we planted seem to be surviving the frost okay. And here's where the kangaroos or possibly other wildlife have been getting through the fence. You can see that they've made a little trail where they get through the fence, and that's how they've been eating my strawberry gum. And then the trail goes all the way down to the little creek, so I guess they've been getting a drink from down there as well. Paul's just going up to check on how our fig is growing, and he said that the fig is not looking too healthy either. And it's a bit disappointing. It's the second fig we've tried to plant up there so far. Our hammock hangs on some gum trees. I'm not sure what type of gums they are, but they have these gum nuts, and they remind me of one of my favourite childhood stories. My mum gave me these books called Snugglepot and Cuddle Pie when I was a little kid, and I loved them. They were written by Australian author May Gibbs. It's a shame that we don't see kids reading so much these days, but if you ever get your hands on those books or the series of books, I really encourage you to. They were great. I'll put a link to them in the description below. We're just planting a loquat tree here. And the loquat is a large evergreen tree, which you can use for herbal teas, but it also has little orange or yellow fruits on it, and it's also known as like a Chinese plum or Japanese plum. Originally the tree's from China. The tree is a very beautiful looking tree, and it's often grown as an ornamental tree, but as I said before, you can use the leaves for herbal tea. The trees are grown commercially for their fruits. The orange yellowy fruits are oval in size and about 3 to 5 centimeters long. The fruit is quite tangy, and I don't know how this plant's going to survive in the frost either. Loquats have been reported to survive temperatures as cold as minus 24 degrees Celsius for short periods of time, so I'm really hoping that this one's going to survive. And the birds love these fruits and trees as well. And as well as eating the fresh fruit, you can also use them to make jams and jellies and chutneys and things like that. The fruit is sweetest when it's orange and really soft. You can eat the skin on the fruit, but it's really quite sour, so a lot of people peel it. And then you've got to take the seed out, which takes up a lot of the actual fruit size, so there's not a lot of flesh left after that. So recently we had some of my son's friends camp here, and one of their mums is studying environmental science. She said that she did an identification course, and she believes that these little birds that we have here are called restless flycatchers. These birds make a very distinctive noise when I think they're looking for insects and things to eat, but they have their head and tail pointing downwards, and then they spread their tail and wings, and they're quivering quite rapidly. The flycatcher looks very similar to a willy wagtail, but the willy wagtail, the darker colour covers its throat, whereas in this one it's white. And flycatchers eat spiders as well as other insects. So the vine that we had growing, which we couldn't work out if it was a pumpkin or a zucchini or something like that, has completely died off. So has our African basil. It must have been just too much for these plants, and I'm just wondering whether they're going to come back or whether they're totally dead. Rosemary is acting like nothing's even happening. It's looking very healthy, and so is the native mint that we got. Wattle is still hanging on as well, and the curry plant is doing fine. The native oregano has a few brown leaves and things like that, so I don't know if that's the frost or what's getting to it. The orange tree is doing well still. I'd like to get a mandarin tree next. The next morning, even though the mist and fog painted the morning grey, we were so happy because it had rained overnight. We thought it was quite heavy, or at least it had sounded heavy, and we were excited to check how much our big rainwater tank had filled. The mist and fog were just so thick that we couldn't even see our little misty mountain at all. It just goes on forever, stretching into oblivion. The best thing about being out here is the absolute peace and quiet. The tranquility is just amazing. It's healing and calming and soothes the soul. We have big plans for this area, possibly going to grow our lavender here. We're also making plans for our off-grid bathroom, so if you have any ideas, let us know. We went to check on how much the rainwater tank had filled with all this rain that we had overnight. It sounded like so much rain that our tank could be half filled, but when we went to look and check it out, we realised that it only filled to the first rung on the tank, which is not really that much at all. Let's go and have a look to see how much the rain has filled the creek. Cold frozen grass crunches beneath your shoes, or gumboots in this case. Whenever I hear our little creek or brook babbling, it reminds me of the great poems like Tintin Abbey by William Wordsworth and the amazing imagery that he could invoke. And such powerful words such as, while with an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. Oftentimes when we're very young, we actually take nature for granted, but nature is still something we can rely on. The beauty of nature is there to heal our souls. So my understanding is that a brook is a smaller, shallower stream than a creek. And a lot of Australians call everything a creek that's streaming with water. So technically I think this is a brook rather than a creek, but oh well. How peaceful is that sound? If it wasn't so cold, I could sit here all day. And now we have some beautiful green coloured birds come and visit us. I'm not sure what these ones are yet either. If you know what they are, let us know in the comments below. It looks like there's a pair, a male and a female. And all the rain has made our track to the main road from our property all boggy again. So if you would like to support our channel, give us a thumbs up and subscribe and make some comments down below. And if you want to be notified of all of our new videos that are coming out, click on the little bell. Thanks for watching and chat to you next time.